Kinondo Financial Services Association, KFSA, is a community-owned and managed association that strives to ensure that poor community members have access to social and financial capital where communities save and borrow at low interest rates. The association has provided millions of shillings in credits. The experience gained by WWF show that areas with the richest biodiversity are also surrounded by abject poverty, suggesting the need to pay greater attention to the links between livelihoods, improvement and conservation. The Kwale Landscape Project is a true manifestation of this. Through Kaya Kinondo Village Bank, millions of shillings in credits have been disbursed to members who have used some of the money for the betterment of the environment, such as improved farming practices and tree growing. Many community members have secured jobs directly or indirectly through the institution.
Mwanzo hapo ninge hapa nilikuwa ni 206. Nilianza kuchukua mkopo wa shilingi 1500, nikalipa kwa miezi 5. Nilipomaliza nikachukua mkopo wa shilingi 10000. Nikalipa na biashara yangu mpaka nikamaliza. Alafu nikachukua shilingi 40. Nikalipa kwa miezi 10. Nikamaliza. Alafu nikachukua tena 1,50,000. Kwa sasa sioni ugumu. Kwa vile nilisaidika na hizo pesa mpaka sasa naendelea na biashara yangu.
Camp Kenya and WWF have been at the forefront of promoting responsible tourism in Kwale. This is the kind of tourism that enhances conservation and at the same time improves community livelihoods and education. They have supported the Mwaluganje Elephant Sanctuary, the Kaya Kinondo Ecotourism Project, and engaged in restoration activities in Kaya Muhaka, and more recently on the Eco Camp at Kaya Muhaka, which receives over 600 visitors annually.
WWF and Camp Kenya particularly have been working together in various different forms for quite a few years now. Partially started because of having areas where we're shared, where we work together basically, and coming to realize that actually we should start be looking at how the private sector and the NGO sector can benefit, can ultimately work towards the same benefit. So things like responsible tourism, ecotourism, conservation, and specifically on the forest belt over here, where Camp Kenya has established a camp at the Kaya. And we also have a camp at Mwaluganje Elephant Sanctuary. So I think what was particularly exciting for us initially was the fact that WWF were willing and interested to look at how they might be able to bring in the private sector. And in our case it's quite simple because despite the fact that we are the private sector, we're actually a responsible travel company with a very strong, underlying ethical principles.
Camp Kenya has been trying to promote and market various local products such as elephant dung paper, aloe vera soaps and creams, and art made from recycled marine debris. WWF partners with community groups in Kwale to promote tree nurseries and on-farm tree growing. The purpose is to reduce high dependency by community members on gazetted forests and improve their livelihoods.
Lengo la kujiunda katika hichi kikundi ni kujihusisha katika miradi ya upandaji wa miti ili kwa uhifadhi wa mazingira ya sehemu yote ya Kwale. Upande wa upanzi wa miti tumejaribu au tuko na soko ambalo tumeuzia kwa sasa hivi miti 30,000 kwa shirika la Bamburi, na wanachama wameweza kufaulu kupata mapato ya karibu 300,000. tunagawanya kwa wanachama kwa sababu ya kuweza kulipia karo za watoto wao shuleni na mahitaji mengine kama vile ya chakula, na wengine tuko nao hapa ambao wamejenga nyumba za kudumu.
With the assistance of WWF and Camp Kenya through provision of information on sustainable market access, Lima Group, a community-based group, has managed to transform their conservation activities into a thriving business. The group makes a variety of herbal products which they sell locally and in external markets.
Tuna miradi mingine ya kutengeneza bidhaa za aloe. Bidhaa hivi sasa, kwa sasa tunatengeneza bidhaa karibu 12 zinazotokana na aloe. Hii ni kufanya biashara au ni kuboresha hali ya mmea huu wa aloe.
WWF, ISIPE and the National Museums of Kenya have assisted the Ndubule Women Group in Kinango to engage in aloe farming, hence increasing their income and enhancing their livelihoods. Msambweni Beekeepers Association is another group which has tremendously benefited from their apiculture venture with assistance from WWF, Ministry of Livestock Development, and ISIPE. WWF and ISIPE support such groups in marketing, packaging, and securing certification for their products. To ensure sustainable markets for their products, these groups link with other conservation groups in the county.
Huu mradi wa beekeeping ni mradi mwingine mzuri kabisa. Ni mradi ambao unaweza kusustain somebody's life. Katika huo mradi nimeweza kufundisha watoto wangu from primary school, secondary school to colleges. Kwa upande mwingine tunashukuru kwa sababu mazingira yameimprove. Kwa mfano zile sehemu ambazo tunaweka ile mizinga yetu hakuna disturbance. Kama ni biodiversity imebaki intact. Alafu pollination katika upande wa mazao pia tunasema nyuki zimefanya mambo mazuri sana kwa upande wa pollination katika hizi crops zetu katika upande wa Kwale.
One of the key challenges facing Kwale landscape forests is high demand for fuelwood for domestic, institutional and industrial use. A survey carried out by WWF and Camp Kenya with support from Carbon Emission Balance showed that schools in Kinango district of Kwale County consume more than 3,500 tons of firewood every year. A pilot institutional energy saving stoves project in one of the schools by Camp Kenya has shown that use of improved stoves can reduce demand for firewood by more than 60%, cooking time by 50%, and lead to significant reduction of smoke levels.
If the students now were to bring firewood thrice in a week, they are now bringing firewood once in a week. And so that time which used to be used in the collection of firewood as they were bringing thrice in a week has now been converted into useful time as they are now concentrating in their studies.
Any one school in Kenya that has a feeding program is feeding about 600 people in a day. That's a hell of a lot of fuel wood. So we undertook a study between us and WWF to basically look at how much fuel wood these schools are actually consuming. And the numbers were quite alarming. And during that period, Camp Kenya also built institutional stoves in 3 schools, and we found that those stoves were reducing the fuel wood consumption by about 50%. So that study was really important to lay the groundwork and now hopefully to build onto it and go national with this sort of thing.